Hi, I'm Tiffany Brown Bush, and this is a video about metabolic rehab. I wanted to make one because I get questions these days about what it means and what it involves and why somebody would need something like that, or people come to me specifically realizing that something's wrong. So I'll get individuals that have maybe done a marathon recently, or chronically done fitness shows, or I get fitness instructors that will come to me with these kinds of issues, who are at a very high level of exercise constantly. Sometimes people will show up and they'll say, I just had a baby not that long ago, or my doctor put me on thyroid medication and explained that my metabolism was going to run a little bit slower, and this is why I'm here. And the symptoms are usually, I'm trying to lose weight and I can't. It seems like everything I do just makes things worse. They'll even gain weight. So I get people who are cutting calories, cutting carbohydrates, and doing cardio, and also, taking somebody's insanity class or doing boot camp or something like that, and nothing seems to work. They continue to deal with cellulite. They continue to deal with belly fat. They just aren't getting the progress. So that's what the typical situation will look like. Now, I want you to familiarize yourself with my 14 days of fat loss. If you've not watched that video, that video series rather, please get familiar with those. It explains the fundamentals of all of this. So once I get through all that stuff, so I'm not gonna spend this video trying to explain all that. Once we've done all that stuff, we've looked at all the food and the behavioral piece, and we've looked at, is there a hormone kind of situation occurring? Okay, so I know I need to be looking at that piece. Once we've done all that, then we get to this program. Okay, so now I will get people who come to me and they're saying they're doing everything and nothing's working, and they've not looked at food sensitivity or food intolerances. Well, that's not quite looking at everything. So that's in 14 days of fat loss. Or they'll say that, they're exercising a lot, and I'll say, okay, we need to look at that piece because that's in 14 days of fat loss. Exercising a lot is going to be a problem. So I've had people that have come to me and they are already following everything. So they're doing the FRL Diva Slim Downs, they're doing the nutrition program that I create for people. They are exercising responsibly with us, so they're doing high intensity interval training, and they're pairing that with slow cardio. So they're doing that. They're taking their supplements. They're doing all those things, and the weight seems to be resistant. So then I start to look for hormonal problems. Okay, and so that's usually what this is about. And I'm looking at somebody's folder right now in front of me, and I want to kind of go over what happened after I've said, okay, you've done all the nutrition piece, right? What do we do next? So I'll give people a ton of various quizzes, and here's another one. This is a little bit easier to go over. And we'll do some of the fundamental quizzes, like this is a toxicity quiz. I have a candida quiz. I will have them, all these are on the website, again, covered in the 14 days of fat loss. We'll look at sugar cravings, we'll look at gluten, we'll go through all that. Okay, then I have a more in-depth quiz, all right? And so this is my honker. This is my big quiz. Now this has about 300 questions on it. And what I do is I take the other quizzes and I compare those quizzes with this big one. This big one will look at a variety of areas, okay? So this is where I actually scored this quiz for the client. And let me just make sure the name is covered. And this is these are the different areas. So we look at upper GI, we look at liver and gallbladder, small intestines, we look at large intestines, we're quizzing for mineral needs, essential fatty acids, I'm looking at vitamins, sugar handling, adrenals, pituitary, thyroid, female sex hormones, cardiovascular, kidney, bladder, immune system. I take this and I also do a blood chemistry analysis. So what you do is you bring your blood panel in and or submit it, and I will interpret it through a naturopathic software to tell me better where there are some imbalances, okay? What you're needing, where things are missing. So what these two pieces of information do for me is this quiz that I just showed you helps me to kind of direct myself and know what I'm looking for, okay? And it has a high level of accuracy and tells me where to point my attention so that I'm not just looking at everything when it comes to what's going on with you metabolically. And then 2, the blood chemistry panel will allow me to get confirmation on if the self-assessment was correct, because they usually are kind of mimic each other. The difference is that this tells me in detail where the problems are based on what the symptoms are that you're reporting. Okay, and that's the difference. So now what I have, let's back up. I've got somebody who's come to me. They've told me about their nutrition history. They told me about their exercise history. They've told me if they've had a hysterectomy or a gallbladder removed or all those things. They're telling me where they are these days with their weight loss experience. I have all this information. I've eliminated some of the basics, and now we're going more sophisticated. Just based off of these 2 pieces of information, I can make some recommendations around supplementation. I can also figure out what specific diet, because I don't do customized nutrition in the slim downs, right? So that's group nutrition. That's not customized to your body. So then based off of this information, I can figure out what customized nutrition programming I need to do, all right? If it doesn't make sense, if you've tried everything and the customized nutrition program that I might want to do with you, you've done already, then I'll ask you to pick up a glucometer, because then I start to worry about blood sugar. And so from the 14 days of fat loss, I want you to remember that in the face of sugar, your body will not release fat, okay? And if your insulin levels are high because of chronic sugar release in your body, or continued sugar release in your body will not release fat. I need to find out if for some reason your blood sugar levels are high. If you have belly fat, that's an indicator to me that you are having some level of insulin resistance, okay? So I need to determine if this is coming from high protein levels and continued kind of output of cortisol and sugar from internally in the body, or if this is coming from somewhere else, right? If this is a sugar intake problem, or if this is an insulin problem. So I need to determine that, and that's where the glucometer comes in, because I'll be able to find out, okay, is there something going on with your blood sugar? If not, then I start having to look at, well, what are we doing here with insulin? What do I need to do to make you more insulin sensitive? So I have to change and look at a different kind of customization with the nutrition plan based off that additional information. Now, I'm going to be honest. Let me take a step back here and say, if I get to those 3 things and I can't figure out what's going on, a lot of times this quiz and that blood chemistry interpretation means that I now have to start doing adrenal work with someone. And adrenal work then flips the script on everything. That means that if there's adrenal indicators here or in the blood work, and you are showing that in your body that you're having problems with your adrenals, I then need to do an adrenal support protocol with you, and then that means I have to really dial back the exercise, because over-exercise actually makes the weight loss resistance much worse. Okay, so it's absolutely counterintuitive. So there's a point where calories in and calories out kind of worked, but then you get to a point of diminishing returns, and actually the same model that you used that got you the weight loss is now part of the problem, and it's making your body store fat. So I have to try to reverse engineer that. And I support your adrenals. I do things that make your thyroid happy. And then at the same time, there may be some more labs even involved in that. But I try to repair your metabolism, as opposed to, because the alternative is to tell you to exercise more, to exercise longer, to lift heavier, and to push down on your metabolism more and cut back on calories more. I've seen people get to the point where they can't cut back anymore. They're only eating like 500-600 calories a day as it is, and they're exercising 6-7 days a week. So there's a point where you cannot do that model anymore, and you're going to have to be responsible with your hormones. And so some of what I just described in this video tackles that. I may make a follow-up video, but I wanted to explain just what that looks like and what we're talking about, okay? All right, until next time, please stay fit.